Howdy, howdy, fellas. Got a couple of matches here today in this World of Warships Legends gameplay on the Navarin. This is a interesting ship. I was playing it as a bit of a main gun brawler with the AL Soviet Russia commander, mostly focused on the reload and improved stealth and pin angles that she gets. I may actually go back and try that again just because I had some success with it. I think I got a crack in with it before the buff, but still, you can see this ship I haven't done particularly well in. I think it's got enough problems on aggregate, but they buffed this repair party. I don't know if this is back up to the levels when it was a rental way back in the day. It had a super heal. I don't know the stats on that, so I don't know if this is back up to that level, but it's significantly improved over what it was. And that addresses one of the biggest problems that I had with this thing is like, sure, these Soviet battleships supposed to be tanky. This thing would just take so much chunk damage. You can see all these flat faces on the armor. Even if you're perfectly angled, you'd take enough damage and burn and flood and torpedoes and like there's just enough stuff flying around that sure you can angle all you want, but the carriers are going to hit you and the light cruisers are going to hit you over the island and whatever, like you're going to take damage. These improved heals go a decent way to addressing that. This thing still has a lot of problems. Velocity on the shell, the main guns, penetration is not abysmal, not just sheer awful, but not good. Damage, not great for tier 8. Sure, it's got 12 guns, but per shell. Accuracy, this grouping, awful. Even in close range, 1.5 shell grouping is, you're going to miss shots, and we'll see some of that. Reload's not fantastic, 35-second stock, so it's just firing angles aren't good. Turrets have a tendency to get knocked. Citadel is huge. Armor can be good if you're perfectly angled, but again, flat faces. Pin on the secondaries is only 27 millimeters, so that's not going to do a ton of raw damage to battleships. It's decent against cruisers. But like the reload isn't amazing. The shell damage isn't amazing, like fine, but again, it's got these AA is messed up in these. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Yeah, new stats, they're great. AA is messed up right now, so don't. It's slow. Turning circle's fine, but not war spike crazy. It's good for the tier, but it's slow enough. It follows. Concealment's a little better than average, but still not amazing. Rear-loaded turrets, so it's like, and actually a lot of secondaries are in the rear too, so you either have to go show too much of your side or go broadside. It's just like, it has so many of these little problems that they just add up to a ship I find problematic to play, and in most scenarios, like any ship in the game, it can perform, but it's often just problematic. And I think there are just better ships out there. But with the new heal, I wanted to try it out, and I think that in the current situation, it's playable. Like, I'll take this thing out from time to time. So let's go check out the games. All right, yeah. So I played 4 matches and 35.92, 155k. This one I didn't do well, but it was a great tanking match. But that one wasn't particularly exciting. This one we lost, but got 171,000 damage. I was taking the whole team. And this one we won 131, 3,300 XP. So again, it's 4 matches. It's a small sample size. I get it. I'm not saying this is like the definitive, like, this is it. The Navarin, good, bad, whatever. Like, whatever. I played a few matches in it. I will say I enjoyed it a lot more than I did previously. It still feels, I'm going to speed up some of this stuff. It still feels a little bit like I'm fighting it. It's one of those ships that is almost like fighting against its own identity. It wants to brawl, but all the stuff's in the back, and it's slow, and it's like, it just like doesn't quite. You can't show a broadside, or you get clapped. Like something like the Rodney has some of those same drawbacks, but it feels like it's playing to itself. Front-loaded torpedoes, front-loaded guns, like keep your nose in, don't show broadside, and you win, and it's like that feels streamlined and logical and consistent, whereas this one is just like, it's fighting itself. So, in this match, a couple of things, and again, because I'm testing it out, I am trying different things. The shot on the Yamato, man, no hits, and then we do get one on that one, but so I am using Flammable Cannoneer, so I've got the longer range, slightly better grouping, but again, because of how the grouping works, it starts at 1.5, 5%, like nothing. It doesn't do enough, and realistically, when you have these ships with low grouping, low sigma, the same thing, you know, those percentage increases don't really do that much. It's kind of, I think it's by design, so I wouldn't say it's a flaw of the way that the game is programmed, but like, the more accurate a ship is to begin with, in general, it gets more benefit from the accuracy improving skills. And I think that's something that you have to take into account when you're looking at a ship like this that has pretty bad accuracy. There's only so much you can do. With the new, I guess she's a Zerlane, Maki, the new Italian battleship commander that gives battleship dispersion, and then Azure Lane Scharnhorst, which already exist, which is general dispersion, you can actually build a dispersion kind of maximizing build for a lot of ships. But Soviet battleships don't. I guess Lev Galler does get. Maybe I'll try him out with like a max dispersion build. They generally don't have access to sniper. So again, there's only. But that if I maxed him out, that's going to be 17% more. I might try a main gun. I'm digressing. I might, but I'm brainstorming as I'm doing this, because again, that's what I'm doing in these matches. So I'm using Flammable Cannoneer to increase the range, or maybe increase the grouping, but it just, or the, yeah, they call it shell grouping in the stat page now. Still just doesn't do that much. And this thing does have a pretty decent fire chance. It's 41% on the main guns. So I kind of came into this match. I saw that it's, what is that? 6 battleships? Yeah, 6 battleships, a triple Njord division. I'm like, well, let's try out the high explosive. Like, let's set some fires on them. Let's burn them down. Yeah, 1 fire, 9 hits. What I found in this match is that even with that relatively high fire chance, even with the 12 barrels, the reload's not good enough, and the accuracy's not good enough, especially at any kind of respectable range. Ooh, yeah, and then the AP. At any range where you're trying to do that longer range fire starting thing, it's just not reliable enough. Like, you'll probably have matches where you get the hits, get the fires, get the stuff, RNG's in your favor, I mean, burn the world down. But for me, like, I tend to have terrible luck with HE. Oh, I'm looking at that gaggle of blue battleships, like, north of A. Come on, guys. There's, what, 4 ships over there? Anyway, I just don't find the HE reliable enough. And you saw, like, that shot on the Njord. The one at distance missed, but the closer range, I got the Citadel. You know, like, that was a big chunk of damage. As unimpressive as the AP is, I would still tend to lean on that. That's what I do in the second match. I switch to Brawler, because it's like, I'm just not hitting stuff anyway at distance. I switched to Brawler, and I use more AP. And there were shots like the shot on the Worcester. There were shots in this that I wish I had AP loaded. And that happens to me a lot in battleships, even ones that you want to use more HE than you might in a typical battleship. I probably lean heavier in the AP. Yeah, here I'm using HE again, and again, it's just like pretty consistently I'm unimpressed by the HE on this thing, even as good as the fire chance is. But we're trying to set some fires on these. And again, you know, like kind of that limit testing, play testing. Just, is this any good? These guys have mostly been shooting HE at me. Here, I don't want to get too close to them with their torpedoes. I'm already well within torpedo range, but of course, the closer you are, the more dangerous it is. So I am turning here, but acknowledging they've been using mostly HE, but also acknowledging the Njord has a fast reload, so I might be in trouble anyway. But sometimes you just got to take the turn and do what you can do. So yep, he's got AP in. Let's see what we do, and he hits and knocks the turret. That's the theme here. But with AL Wakamo, what's her name? Wakamo. It actually, you know, I've got 2 damage control parties in the third row, and then a unique skill gives a damage control party and a heal. And so I've got 6 really short cooldown damage control parties, and that starts to feel like, oh, this is actually better than a standard battleship damage control party. Yes, I know that the standard, like, 3 that you get on these and the German battle cruisers, like, you can play a match and use 3 damage control parties. I would say most standard battleship matches I play, I probably don't use more than 3. I just don't like the way it feels, like knowing that, ooh, if I take a random torpedo flood from a carrier here, and then another one 5 minutes later, and then another one 2 minutes after that, that it's like, you know, I'm not engaged under anything else, and it's just, yep, there goes a lot of my health because I just randomly got hit by a torpedo from a carrier who was doing nothing else. I just don't like that. So, these 6, though, that starts to be, I mean, you gotta be real sloppy to burn through all 6 in a way that leaves you wanting. So, and you know, and on this one, it's got, yeah, 3 heals stock, so it bumps it up to 4, and again, they're the improved heals. Like, okay, this thing actually starts to be pretty tanky. So let's speed this up. I wasn't thrilled with how my team kind of went the long way around A and still haven't actually capped A. So I'm feeling pretty frustrated here, but at the end, they come through, so we'll give them credit where credit is due. Got this Yamato. Gonna take some cheeky shots at it. And this is where, like, if I hadn't been trying to lean into the HE from the beginning, like, this is where you load the HE. Is I've got kind of an angled Yamato, maybe the carrier, but we know we're going to try to burn this guy down. Under attack by the carrier, I'm burning. But again, that improved heal, it really elevates this thing in a way. When they announced that they were going to do that, and actually even when it came out, I was kind of questioned. I didn't play it in the rental period, but just from the handful that I saw, actually I played against Meta Jerk on this map. He was on the other side, coming north into Navarin. Like, the super heal didn't feel overpowered, so I was a little bummed when they took that out. And I think this is a good change. I think this thing will still go down. I don't think I show it, but I definitely... Oh, it was that match that I lost. I got clapped by a Preußen with its front 2 guns, 2 turrets for like 36,000 or something, and then finished off by a Holland torpedo. So, like, yeah, it's not going to make this thing invincible. It's still got that huge citadel. There's plenty of damage that you take, like, from torpedoes. That's not really healable, but I think it puts it in a much better place, and it's much more enjoyable. Still has a lot of those problems, though, so this thing isn't going to be a daily driver for me, but, you know, we do the weekly Tier A premiums. This made it enough better that I think, you know what, maybe I will play this instead of some of the other ones that I'm just tired of. Yep, we can just pop that, knock that thing right off. Got 2 fires. I've still got 3 heals left. I like these. It might even be too many, but I like the flexibility that it offers you. Yeah, it's like, whatever, a 40-second cooldown? It's just like a cruiser DCP, but better. Trying to finish off the midway. And you can just see, like, as you see my shots throughout this match, and maybe a little bit more in the next one, these are just shotgun shells. You're gonna hit some shots, gonna miss a lot. Sometimes they're gonna be relatively accurate, sometimes they're gonna be very accurate. A lot of times they're just gonna miss like everything. At this point, we realize that the final ship in here is AFK, so I'm gonna speed it up a little bit just to finish this off. There's a bit of a bummer. I mean, I think some of this is not update day, but update week. In general, you see shenanigans and matchmaking. I certainly have, but I've seen a lot over the last couple of weeks anyway. Last couple of weeks, months, years, you guys know how it is. So this guy's AFK. It's fine. I've had plenty of AFK ships in mine. I wish I had a non-AFK ship competitive match to show you guys, but it is what it is. You know, I've played 4 games in this thing, and these are the ones I got. So Montana's going. Still trying one of that HE. I was kind of hoping to sneak the cap just to scum some more XP, but 33,000 or 3,300. There it is. Oh, this is actually because I played them all back to back. This was on the edge of the other one. This is the match that I had like 15, 16, 1700 XP. I'm taking these 2 ships. I had been taking them for a long time. So first of all, just to say that I tanked these and a couple of other ships for a long time, and this is where the new heal feels appropriate. Like I'm low on heals, but I've still got decent health. And I've been taking ships for like a long time. But then there you go. I'm nose into the Montana, take, or whatever that was, 12,000 damage, lose the front turret immediately after it came back up. And you know, that's, I think this like little snippet is kind of the strength and weakness of the Navarin right there all at once. You can tank, you're gonna take damage, and you're gonna lose your turrets. But it works now. It's workable. Whereas before it was just like, in that same thing, I would have been out of heals, I would have been low health, and that shot would have taken me out, I think. So in this match, I've switched to Brawler because I was like, screw it, I'm not hitting anything at range anyway. Let's just improve that reload a little bit more. We're trying to get a little bit closer anyway. Just go with Brawler, whatever. I do this on the Picardy. What else do I do it on? There's a handful of ships that I run Brawler on. I know that's not like necessarily the most competitive choice, but especially on ships like this that I can't hit anything at range anyway. I'm just revealing myself at a longer distance, which I don't want to be at anyway. Let's just go Brawler. Knock the reload off, see the torpedoes a little bit faster. Whatever. Go on AP this time, because I learned my lesson with the HE last time. I just didn't enjoy it. And again, I would imagine that some of the higher scoring or higher damage matches that this thing has probably do use HE, get some of those fires, especially at distance, because of the lack of accuracy, lack of pin, like a broken record here. So it's fine. Don't forget about the HE, but I'm just going to use the AP. We've got this edge of this A. This map is always a little interesting to me. It really depends a lot on how both the teams deploy. Like, does someone go out wide? Do people rush the middle? Do they come up to this side? Here's where that slightly better concealment does help. So again, you know, these little advantages it has can occasionally play to your favor. The Owami is not spotting me, I am spotting him. Although he may also be spotted by that destroyer, I can't quite tell. I think he's behind the island from the destroyer. So don't ignore this stuff, it's just like not enough to drastically change the way that the ship plays. Here we go. Oh, I'm so disappointed in this shot. This match would have been probably even easier, but he was already stopping when I fired that, so I should have just gone center line. I thought that he was going to come out a touch further. So that's on me. That could have been a dev strike right there, but I miss it. Nobody fault but my own. Got some attention from the carrier, as always. I really feel like the carrier is always on me. I know it's somewhat selection bias, like I just feel it, and then ugh, took the shot on the Owami right before this Megami is just like a thorn in my side for a fair amount of this match. Just ducking in and out behind that island. He's not really doing anything there. He is contesting the cap, but like he's not going to take it. It's super annoying. But yeah, oh yeah, so we got the flood and the double fires, and we damage control it, and we've already got 16 seconds, and we've healed up a lot of damage, and it's like this ship starts to feel good. Like I can do my stuff. You know, Wami's backing up again. Slow velocity on these shells, it does mess me up. I love being able to see those stats because it can validate, verify a lot of those feelings that you have in game. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. These felt slow, but the Soviet battleships generally have, or Soviet ships in general have fast shells. These didn't feel fast, but now it's like, oh yeah, duh, these really are slow. I need to lead more. I need to, you know, the Wami's going to have time to change when he goes in. Here come the tourists from the Megami. I knew those were coming. But I'm looking at the rest of the ships. There's nobody in B that's going to threaten me. So I can back in this way, which, to be sure, he didn't expect me to do. There goes one destroyer on the red team. You can see I'm burning down. I could damage con it, but that heal is going to be up in a little bit. I know I'm going to be able to heal up most of the damage. Again, those heals make it playable. Like I think that change was a great change. It doesn't make it an amazing ship. Should have led that a little further on the Edinburgh. Just got clicky on the Triggy, but doesn't matter. The shotgun wins. You know, that's a thing that the shells will do for you. Is you don't have to be perfect with your aim. So you know, maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need more battleships like this that I miss my shots and RNG just wins it for me. So we got the Edinburgh this time. We learned our lesson. We're gonna lead a little more on the Megami, and we get a double death strike. I wish that had been a double strike. That would have been super cool. But obviously, the reload on these Hawkers precludes that. So we'll settle with 2 death strikes on the cruisers. Finally, get rid of the Megami. More fun from our carrier friend. The Katsanis gets the Jaeger. I love to see that. That Katsanis was actually in the previous match with me. Oh, but the Jaeger takes him down. Fine. You know, I'll especially at this point in the game, we'll take that. This is a win as long as that Jaeger doesn't go on just like a torpedo rampage. We would love to cap A, but our friendly carrier, enemy carrier, is just honest. You know, this every time I've talked to people so many times. Every carriers are just annoying. Like, this is why we hate them. It's just the Iwami has to risk himself to threaten me. The Megami had to risk himself to threaten me. Like, sure, the carrier's not doing anything. He's not winning the game, but he's just resetting me over and over and over. He's damaging me over and over and over. Like, it's just annoying. Secondary set of fire on the Iwami. He's burning down. It's gonna kind of slowly sail around in here, heal up. You know, it's like a little burn damage. It's all right. Again, we got 5 damage control parties left. That's the 6 is probably too much, but again, I just like it. I love queuing into the match and knowing like, yeah, I can repair that. I can repair that. None of it matters. I'm gonna have 6. So try to sneak the Iwami, and do we? No, we missed the Iwami. That would have been nice, but I think I don't know if we did most of the damage to him, but we did a fair amount. And here we go. The Navarine's Nemesis, a ship further than 2 kilometers away. Yeah. What? I think he started backing up, so I was trying to hit the front. I don't actually know what... I think that was all poorly aimed and inaccurate. And then look at the spread on these things. It's just awful. Yeah, we have nothing into the guns improving accuracy. Sure, I'll admit that, but like, woof. These things are bad. I'm trying to, like, oh, where can I aim this most accurately? And then I look at them, they're just like all over the place. It really doesn't matter that much. So whatever, you just fire him. You fire him in the general direction and hope. But yeah, Navarin. That's it. Double header. That was a lot for me. I'm not going to play this guy for a while, but honestly, I did enjoy them. It's not going to be my favorite ship in the game, but I like this change. It's not... Yeah, like, come on, Grips. do it. Like, whatever. Take it out if you have it. If you didn't absolutely hate it, this isn't going to completely revolutionize the ship. It's still got all its problems, but it can do the things it wants to do just that much more now. I enjoyed this.